I am Michael. I speak to you now by divine summons. Your soul has been called to this precise moment in time and space to bear witness to a great cosmic truth. Your finding this message is no accident. It is the result of a celestial beacon activated in response to a proceeding that directly concerns the story of your life. Be still and listen, for a verdict is about to be overturned. In the lower courts of human judgment, the realms of opinion, assumption, and outward appearance, a jury has been in session. This jury of appearances, comprised of the doubts of others, the projections of the world, and even the harshest whispers of your own inner critic, has been compiling a case against you. Their purpose has been to define you by your struggles, to judge you by your scars, and to write a history of your life that emphasizes every perceived failure, every stumble, every tear. They have worked diligently, gathering what they believe is a comprehensive and irrefutable record of your supposed limitations. They thought their plan was perfect. They intended to present this flawed record to the high courts of heaven as the final, definitive testament of your life, a testament that would limit your access to the blessings that are your birthright. They believed their judgment was final. But their plan had a fatal flaw. They were so focused on their own prosecution, so convinced of their own authority, that they failed to notice a silent presence in their courtroom. They did not know that an angel was present. A celestial scribe, a divine stenographer operating under my direct command, was assigned to your case from the very beginning. And this angel was recording everything. Not just the superficial evidence they presented, but the full, multi-dimensional truth. While they recorded your tears, the angel recorded the silent prayers behind them. While they recorded your mistakes, the angel recorded the courageous lessons you learned from them. While they recorded your moments of weariness, the angel recorded the immense, energetic burdens you were carrying for others. They have a record, but we have the truth. And I have come today to present this divine recording as evidence, to have it entered into the official cosmic record, overriding all false judgments against you. Therefore, I command your presence here as the key witness in your own defense. The temptation to flee, to disbelieve. You may be asking in your heart, Lord Michael, why me? Why was a case even built against me? Why was a celestial scribe assigned to my life? You were targeted by this jury of appearances for the very same reason you are now defended by the legions of light. Because your soul possesses a profound and unshakable integrity that threatens the very foundation of their world of illusion. Judgment can only thrive where truth is hidden. Your spirit, in its relentless quest for authenticity, is a beacon of truth. The forces of limitation are drawn to such lights, not to extinguish them, but in a futile attempt to define them by the shadows they cast. They sought to judge you, to label you, to put you in a box of their own making, because they could not comprehend the sheer magnitude of your spirit. They watched you, and they compiled their flawed report. But the angelic recording reveals the divine context behind their every observation. They presented your silent tears, shed in the lonely hours of the night, as evidence of your weakness. But the angelic recording captured the sound of your heart breaking open, not breaking down. It recorded your soul's refusal to become hard, your courageous choice to remain soft and compassionate in a world that rewards cynicism. The divine transcript labels these moments not as weakness, but as acts of divine courage. They presented your history of relationships, highlighting the heartbreaks and the departures, as evidence of your instability or unworthiness of love. But the angelic recording captured the full truth of the sacred soul contracts. It recorded you as a master healer, bravely loving those who could not love themselves, serving as a transitional haven for wounded souls. It recorded your immense capacity for forgiveness. The divine transcript labels these chapters not as failures, but as fulfilled missions of unconditional love. They presented the times you carried burdens that were not your own, the pain of your family, the stress of your workplace, the unresolved karma of your ancestors, as evidence of your poor boundaries and victimhood.
But the angelic recording captured your soul's conscious choice to serve as a light bearer, a spiritual anchor transmuting dense energy for the collective. The divine transcript labels this not as victimhood, but as high-level energetic service. They presented your financial struggles, the moments of lack and uncertainty, as evidence of your irresponsibility. But the angelic recording captured the countless times you gave when you had little, the integrity with which you met your obligations, and the heroic spiritual work you were doing to break a generational curse of poverty. The divine transcript labels this not as irresponsibility, but as breaking ancestral chains. Do you see? Everything they sought to use against you is, in the light of heaven, the very evidence of your high spiritual character. You were not judged because you were lacking. You were judged because they could not measure your magnificence with their limited tools. And now, it is time to play back the divine recording and let the truth be known. Now, let the courts of heaven and earth be silent. I will unseal the celestial scroll. I will now read from the divine transcript, playing back the angelic recording that captures the true essence of your journey. I will address the primary charges laid against you by the jury of appearances, and I will replace their false verdict with the binding absolute truth of heaven. The first charge brought against you was that of financial unworthiness. The jury presented a record of your financial hardships, your periods of lack, your anxieties about provision. They argued that this history proves you are not prepared for or deserving of true, lasting abundance. Their verdict was continued limitation. But the angelic recording reveals a different story entirely. The divine transcript plays back a memory, a time you saw a stranger in need and gave them the last of your cash, trusting the universe would provide. It plays back the sound of your quiet prayers, not for yourself, but for a friend who was struggling more than you. It reveals in brilliant light the immense spiritual work you have undertaken, consciously or unconsciously, to cleanse a deep-seated belief in scarcity that has run through your family for generations. It shows that your soul's currency is not money, but compassion and faith. The divine context behind your financial story is not failure. It is profound generosity and karmic liberation. Therefore, heaven's judgment is this: the false verdict of limitation is hereby overturned. The true verdict is divinely endowed. The blessing of abundance, which they sought to block, is now released to you, not as a reward, but as a reflection of your true, abundant character. The second charge brought against you was that of unworthiness in love. The jury presented a history of painful endings, of trust that was broken, of love that was not returned in equal measure. They argued this pattern proves you are not ready for a sacred, whole, and lasting partnership. Their verdict was a sentence of solitude. But the angelic recording reveals the truth that lies within your heart. It plays back the moments after a deep hurt, when you privately chose forgiveness over bitterness. It records the immense courage it took for you to open your heart again after it had been wounded. It shows, with profound clarity, that your relationships were not failures, but were part of a master-level curriculum in love, teaching you discernment, self-worth, and the true meaning of unconditional compassion. The divine context behind your love life is not a pattern of failure. It is a spiritual masterclass in the nature of love itself. Therefore, heaven's judgment is this: the false verdict of solitude is hereby overturned. The true verdict is sacred union prepared. The celestial call for your divine partner, a love that mirrors your own magnificent, educated, and whole heart, is now sent forth unimpeded by the judgments of the past. The third charge brought against you was that of spiritual insufficiency. The jury presented your moments of anxiety, your periods of deep fatigue, your feelings of being overwhelmed, as evidence that you are too fragile for a greater spiritual mission. or a higher level of light. Their verdict was quarantined from higher purpose. But the angelic recording reveals the cause of this weariness. It shows your brilliant energy field, like a holy shield, absorbing the fear and pain of those around you. It reveals that your anxiety was you sensing the turmoil of the collective, and your fatigue was the honorable exhaustion of a light bearer, working tirelessly on the front lines of planetary ascension. The divine context is not fragility. It is selfless and courageous spiritual service. Therefore, heaven's judgment is this: the false verdict of quarantined is hereby overturned. The true verdict is sovereign power restored. Your mission of transmutation is honorably concluded. Your energy is now returned to you, cleansed and sealed within my own protective blue flame. You're not too fragile for your purpose. You have been perfectly prepared for it. The false record has been exposed. The true record has been revealed. The case against you is dismissed. The divine testimony has been entered into the record. The false charges have been dismissed by the highest authority. Now you, the vindicated, must consciously and willfully accept this new, true record as the story of your life. This ritual is your act of countersigning heaven's verdict, making it the unshakable law of your reality. Rise in your inner power, sit or stand as a sovereign being, free of all false judgment. Place your hands upon your heart, the seat of your truth. Close your eyes and feel my presence, not just as an advocate, but as the guardian of your newly declared innocence. We will begin with the breath of vindication. As you inhale, I want you to breathe in the truth of the angelic recording. Breathe in the divine context of your courage, your mastery of love, your selfless service. Feel your lungs and your entire being filling with the light of your own exonerated spirit. This is who you truly are. Hold this truth. Now, as you exhale, I want you to forcefully shred and disintegrate the false verdicts of the jury of appearances. Breathe out the label of limitation. Breathe out the sentence of solitude. Breathe out the judgment of insufficient. See their false record turning to dust and blowing away on your sacred breath. Let us do this again. Inhale your divine truth and exhale their lies. One final, liberating time. Inhale your innocence and exhale the very memory of the trial. Now, for the sovereign declaration of truth. Your voice is the gavel that closes this case forever. Repeat these words aloud after me. Speak them not as a request, but as a final, binding decree that reverberates through all dimensions. I, state your name, standing in the light of divine truth, do hereby reject every charge, every judgment, and every false verdict issued by the jury of appearances. I declare their record to be null and void. I consciously and joyfully accept the angelic recording as the one and only true testimony of my soul's journey. I accept the verdict of divinely endowed. I accept the verdict of sacred union prepared. I accept the verdict of sovereign power restored. I am innocent of all charges of unworthiness. The case is closed. My new life begins now. It is done. It is done. It is done. Feel the finality of your own decree. The universe has realigned to this, your declared truth. To anchor this in the physical world and announce your victory, go now to the comments section. This is your town square, your place of public proclamation. To post the final verdict for all to see, type these words of power. The false verdict is overturned. My divine truth is recorded. This is your public declaration of freedom. It is your signature on your own vindication, amplifying this triumphant energy for all who bear witness. Do it now. Declare your truth. The trial is over. The case is closed. Your name has been cleared in the highest courts of the cosmos. The weight of false judgment has been lifted from your spirit. Now begins the joyous work of integrating this truth into every fiber of your being. This is not a struggle. It is a gentle unfolding. Relax your body, for the fight is done. Let your mind be at peace, for the arguments are over. Allow my voice to be a soothing frequency, embedding the truth of the divine transcript so deeply within you that it becomes your new nature. Let us integrate your truth as a divinely endowed being. You are inherently worthy of all the abundance the universe has to offer. The generosity and courage captured on the divine recording are your true financial identity. Feel this now. Release the identity of a struggler forever. Embrace the identity of a conduit. You are a conduit for divine blessings, for yourself and for others. Money and resources are drawn to your courageous and generous spirit. Feel the anxiety around money dissolving, being replaced by a calm and certain trust. You are a responsible, worthy, and beloved steward of God's infinite riches. Live from this truth. Let us integrate your truth as a being prepared for sacred union. You are a master of love, a graduate of its most difficult lessons. The capacity for unconditional love and forgiveness, captured on the divine recording, is your true relational identity. Release the identity of being unlucky in love forever. Embrace the identity of a magnet for sacred partnership. Your heart, now vindicated and whole, radiates a frequency of authentic, mature love. This frequency is a beacon, calling in a partner who has done their own work, a partner who can meet you in wholeness, honor you in truth, and build with you in joy. You are deeply and profoundly lovable, exactly as you are. Let us integrate your truth as a being of sovereign power. You are a formidable spiritual warrior whose frontline service is now complete. The selfless service captured on the divine recording is your true spiritual identity. Release the identity of being too sensitive or fragile forever. Embrace the identity of a sovereign light bearer. Your energy is now your own. Sealed in my protective light, your sensitivity becomes your superpower, a finely tuned guidance system, no longer a sponge for the world's pain. Feel your vitality returning, your inner reserves refilling. Your power is immense, it is safe, and it is yours to command for the creation of your most joyous life. Breathe these truths in, walk in them, speak from them. This is not a mask you are putting on. This is the truth of you that was recorded by an angel, a truth that has now set you free. The plan of the jury of appearances has not only failed, it has backfired spectacularly. Their attempt to condemn you has resulted in your divine and public vindication. The secret recording has been played, and the truth has silenced all opposition. A new chapter does not just begin. A whole new book, written from the perspective of your exonerated soul, is now open. As a final, tangible seal upon this victory, heaven will now orchestrate a sign of your public vindication. The false judgments against you were of this world, and so shall be the proof of their nullification. Within the next 7 days, you will experience a moment of undeniable vindication in your physical reality. It may be small or it may be grand, but it will be unmistakable. An old rumor or misunderstanding about you will be inexplicably cleared up. Someone from your past who misjudged you will reach out with a sudden apology or acknowledgement, an opportunity that you were previously denied, for which you were deemed unqualified, will suddenly be offered to you freely and with enthusiasm. When this happens, you will feel it in your soul. It is the universe correcting the record on your behalf. Recognize it as the physical manifestation of the verdict we have declared today. This is your sign that the case is truly and permanently closed. Your new sacred responsibility is to live as a vindicated soul. You are no longer on trial. You do not have to explain yourself, defend yourself, or prove your worth to anyone ever again. Your responsibility is to be the living embodiment of the divine transcript. Live with the generosity and courage of a divinely endowed being. Love with the open, trusting heart of one prepared for sacred union. Act with the calm, centered power of a sovereign light bearer. You are now the scribe of your own ongoing record. Live a story so beautiful, so joyous, and so true that the angelic recordings of your life from this day forward become a masterpiece of divine art. Their plan was to define you. The result is that you have been set free. The secret recording has been revealed. The false verdict has been overturned. The final judgment is in. You are innocent, you are worthy, you are magnificent, and you are free. Go now and live in the glorious, unimpeachable light of your own divine truth. I am with you always, the guardian of your true record.